Coming up, Tzu Chi volunteers in Thailand care for children living at the Wat-bot Nursery. Volunteers in the Philippines promote vegetarianism to members of the public at Pasig City. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Liao. Thank you for joining us. Tzu Chi's educational mission is an important area of the volunteers' efforts, as it is key to helping impoverished students leave behind the cycle of poverty. In China, to help students start the new semester without financial worries, Tzu Chi volunteers handed out scholarships to 65 impoverished students in Luoshui, Sichuan. Meanwhile, in Guizhou, since 1997, Tzu Chi volunteers have been helping the students of Luodian pursue their dreams. To begin the new school year off right, the volunteers separated into 10 teams to visit over 100 families in an effort to get to know the students' needs for the upcoming year.
Here in China's Guizhou, Tzu Chi volunteers are traveling through Luodian's Dongjia Township to conduct home visitations of students receiving financial aid. However, the group comes across an obstacle during their travels. With the main road blocked, the volunteers end up reaching Yan Zhu Ying's home on a small abandoned footpath. The Yan family lives in a home without furniture as they lack the money to purchase some. Being the eldest daughter, Zhu Ying takes care of her younger siblings on behalf of her mother, who suffers from mental illness.
Your parents work hard to provide for your education. This is why you must reciprocate by also working hard in school, all right?
In the mountains, homes are far apart from one another. To help the volunteers get around easier, a young girl who once received help from Tzu Chi came with a scooter to give the volunteers a lift. Next, volunteers visit Xia Xinmei's home. Upon hearing that their granddaughter is doing well in school, the grandparents' faces beam with pride and joy. In the past 11 years of providing financial aid to students in Guizhou, Tzu Chi volunteers have tried their best to help these impoverished students break the cycle of poverty. Meanwhile, in Sichuan's Luoshui, Tzu Chi volunteers are handing out financial aid to 65 impoverished but deserving students to help lighten their families' monetary troubles.
The financial aid helps my family out a lot, especially my father, as he no longer has to worry about my tuition. When I graduate from college, I'll do my best to help others in need. The love and care I have received from Tzu Chi, I'll pass on to others.
From now on, I will take more notice of Tzu Chi events and participate in the charity events. I want to be like the volunteers and help others who are more in need than I.
Through Tzu Chi scholarship support, these college students and other impoverished students like them can pursue their dreams without worry.
In Canada's British Columbia, Tzu Chi volunteers in Vancouver hosted a back-to-school distribution at the YWCA on behalf of impoverished students. Thanks to volunteers' assistance, these children can now go to school with new backpacks and much-needed stationery. Despite the scorching sun, Tzu Chi volunteers still happily make their way to the YWCA in Vancouver with school supplies. Today is the third consecutive year Tzu Chi is holding a back-to-school distribution at the YWCA before the start of a new school year.
Our master, Zhen Yan, told us, since we live in Canada, we set our foot on the land of Canada, live under the sky of Canada, enjoy the resource of Canada, you must pay back. So this is our mission.
The YWCA in Vancouver not only focuses on caring for better women and children, but also in helping them rebuild their lives. Early in the morning, many have arrived to enjoy hot meals with their children. Besides handing out backpacks, Tzu Chi volunteers also fill each with new stationery. It is such a wonderful gift that you've given to the children, not just the backpacks themselves, which will help them go to school feeling prepared and ready, and the hope that you have given to them to have a wonderful start to the new school year.
It's something that they don't normally have access to, and especially new, good quality products is something that I think that is such a luxury, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be a luxury for children to have what they need to go back to school.
Children break into smiles upon receiving their backpacks and stationery. Tzu Chi volunteers hope the love embedded in the school supplies can inspire these children to pay the love forward in the near future. At Wat-bot Nursery in Anton Province, Thailand, many of the children are disadvantaged students from northern Thailand. Local Tzu Chi volunteers have been caring for the children there for 17 years and thus built up a caring relationship. Tzu Chi volunteers recently visited the children once again, bringing with them students from Taiwan's Tzu Chi University.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Thailand once again arrive at Wat-bot Nursery to visit the children there. Among the bigger kids is 17-year-old Sumesa, who has come to see the Tzu Chi volunteers as mother figures.
I'm very touched to hear the children call my name. Maybe they feel that we Tzu Chi mothers are different from the other people who come visit them.
The volunteers came to celebrate Mother's Day with the children, who gratefully offer them tea during the ceremony.
We are far away from our parents, but the Tzu Chi mothers come visit us often, and they are just like our parents.
Thank you, Tzu Chi mothers, brothers, and sisters. You make us very happy each time you come.
Among the Tzu Chi mothers is a teacher from Tzu Chi University's Department of Nursing, who was moved by each hug she received.
The children only speak Thai and don't understand Chinese, but I think we have successfully expressed our care through hugs and smiles.
Next, students of Tzu Chi University's Department of Nursing joined the volunteers to help the children clean up the home and heads.
Of course, they don't want to have headlines. I think this is an opportunity for me to learn and grow.
Having built a caring relationship with the kids at Wat-bot Nursery, Tzu Chi volunteers will continue to come, in spite of the long distance, to make sure the children receive much-needed love and warmth.
In Vietnam, children without a legal identity are denied a place in the country's schools. However, in Bình Nguyên City, the city government has set up an evening school for such children to help them get an education. As many of these children sell lottery tickets during the day to help their families survive, they often go hungry while working and find it difficult to concentrate once at school in the evening. To help, Tzu Chi volunteers have decided to provide them dinner 3 times a week.
In Bien Yuen, one finds many children who lack a legal identity and thus are unable to attend school. They sell lottery tickets during the day and come here in the evening. The school, funded by the city government, works to give these undocumented children a chance at an education, while here, the students also receive a meal to eat. Since October 2014, Tzu Chi volunteers have been providing meals for these children 3 nights a week.
The students here don't have a legal identity, so they can't attend normal schools like other children their age. To help their concentration, we come at 5:30 to provide dinner 3 times a week.
Thanks to the efforts of the government and Tzu Chi, these children can now pursue an education while getting a warm meal to eat.
Tzu Chi volunteers continue to distribute rice to the needy in Tacloban of the Philippines. The rice from Taiwan isn't just food to feed the hungry stomachs of the poor, but is embedded with the love of the people of Taiwan and the Tzu Chi volunteers.
A 20-kilogram bag of rice is heavy for a young child to carry. However, his happiness at being able to eat once more far outweighs the heaviness of the load.
We ran out of rice yesterday. The children went to school on empty stomachs today.
Even though the meal is just rice with soy sauce and cassava, for this starving family of 7, it's a magnificent feast. Among those receiving the rice is Geraldo Serafin, who has a prosthetic leg. Geraldo pedaled 30 minutes to reach the distribution venue, but he did so gladly as this rice will do much to lighten his financial burdens.
I don't have to worry about how to come up with money to purchase rice in the days ahead. This aid has really helped me out a lot.
In the aftermath of Typhoon Haiyan, Tzu Chi volunteers have not only helped Taclobanans rebuild their lives, but have stayed by their side. In doing so, the locals have come to see the Tzu Chi volunteers as angels of mercy.
When I received the rice, I was really happy because it seemed as if God had heard my prayers.
Tzu Chi volunteers are really angels in disguise. Although we are poor, there are still many out there who care for us.
The love that is embedded in this rice from Taiwan makes it even tastier for those who receive it.
Though Taiwan solar panels only make up less than 20% of the world's solar panel market, their high quality make them very competitive. However, currently the global market is coping with oversupply due to China's decision to get into the market. Also, by cooperating too closely with China, Taiwan has found itself on the receiving end of the anti-dumping duties levied by the U.S. government. We find out how the industry is facing these challenges in our next report.
The autonomous assembly line of this solar cell manufacturing plant operates 24 hours a day.
One of the stations will simulate sunlight, and a sensor will press down on the cells to test their photovoltaic property and photoelectric conversion efficiency.
The production of solar cells demands precision engineering, and Taiwan currently produces 17% of the world's solar cells.
On the top are silicon rocks that we have bought. Most of them are recycled. They will be placed inside a furnace to be melted down, so silicon crystals can be grown.
These glistering rocks are the raw materials of solar cells. The cutting of a grown crystal has to be done manually. Solar cells have to be put together to form a solar panel.
He is making sure the panels are soldered properly and tightly.
The manufacturing of solar panels demands the integration of traditional industries, high-tech engineering, and manufacturing. However, the world's solar power industry only bloomed from 2005 to 2010. After the industry tanked, even TSMC decided to shut down its solar manufacturing operations.
Before the global financial crisis, the industry was already wobbling because China kept on increasing their production capacity. With the backing of their government, these companies had low overhead. As they upped their production, the whole supply and demand curve of the market became unbalanced. In 2010, the price for panels fell lower than the current price. It took several years for prices to recover.
A 250-watt solar panel used to fetch about $640 on the market before China came into play, but the price dropped to $140 afterwards, which meant a 70% drop in revenue. But the real trouble was that the U.S. International Trade Commission declared that anti-dumping duties will be imposed on solar panels from Taiwan starting this past January.
A lot of components produced in Taiwan are sold to China to be assembled into the final product, which is then sold very cheaply to the EU and the US. The US government felt this hampered its domestic solar power industry and decided to impose anti-dumping duties.
Taiwan's solar power industry hopes the government can continue to maintain an open dialogue with the U.S. government on this issue, and at the same time is establishing new plants in other Southeast Asian countries.
We're helping manufacturers of the industry cope by tackling 4 aspects. First is to find a new final export point. Second is to provide technical assistance. Third, we encourage these manufacturers to move abroad. And fourth, we will help them secure loans because they might need capital to set up new plants.
Though things may look grim for now, Taiwan's solar power industry still remains competitive globally.
We have one major advantage over others because we are supported by the world's leading semiconductor industry. Taiwan grows excellent silicon crystals. Good crystals mean higher photoelectric conversion efficiency.
Whether or not Taiwan's solar power industry can survive this harsh winter will ultimately depend on the efforts of both the government and the businesses themselves.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Malaysia recently held a blessing ceremony and gathering in Kota Kinabalu and Bukit Mertajam Tzu Chi Academy to spread the message that the 7th lunar month is a time of auspiciousness, joy, and gratitude. But let's first take a look at the similar efforts of volunteers in Taiwan.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Hsinchu hold a blessing ceremony for the 7th lunar month. Children and parents take a moment to thank each other through song. Meanwhile, in Keelung, Tzu Chi volunteers sterilize the utensils they prepared for their guests. Then they welcome the grandmothers and mothers in the community to the gathering. Medical professionals were there to give tips on how to eat healthy and combat fatigue.
It's important to know how to eat well. The seniors usually lack this kind of knowledge. I think everyone has a better understanding after coming here.
Regardless of the activity, Tzu Chi volunteers do their best to advocate the correct manner in which to observe this auspicious month.
这个农历7月是什么节日？对你那时候来讲，
鬼节了，
会怕吗？
会了，会特别的怕，因为他们讲是鬼门开，然后那些东西出来这样子。
求福不如自己造福，求菩萨不如自己做菩萨。
In Kota Kinabalu, a blessing ceremony attended by 400 people opened with chanting of incense praise and offerings of flowers and fruit.
We will probably change our habits in this month. We don't need to burn joss paper, but simply worship our ancestors with sincerity.
At the Bukit Mertajam Tzu Chi Academy, many students wrote down their vows to embrace vegetarianism and hang the cards on a paper Bodhi tree. As the lunar month of July is also a time to express one's devotion to parents, the students also took a moment to show their gratitude and love to their moms and dads.
Tzu Chi volunteers in the Philippines recently organized a fair in Pasig, which featured exhibitor promoting vegetarianism and eco-friendly lifestyle. Over the course of 2 days, more than 4,000 people took part in the fair, which offered an inspiring earth-friendly experience.
This fair, packed with 54 exhibitors, promotes eco-friendly lifestyles. Here, one can find toys made with recycled wood and learn about how to use ammonia as fertilizer. Tzu Chi volunteers in the Philippines have organized this event mainly to promote vegetarianism.
Vegetarians do not know where they eat, so we invited vegetarian vendors to this event. In this way, we can encourage more people to embrace vegetarianism.
Among the exhibitors, Nancy came to promote a cold-pressed juicer, which keeps more of the ingredients' nutrients intact. She also donated her proceeds to Tzu Chi.
Because we want to donate all the proceeds to Tzu Chi Foundation, which is helping extending the arms to all the poor and needy. So we want to be part of it.
Margie, who has a passion for drawing, also donated the proceeds of the sale of her paintings.
So I made a promise to myself that all of my
More than 4,000 people learned about eco-friendly lifestyles in the two-day fair, which became another way for Tzu Chi volunteers to mark the auspiciousness of the 7th lunar month.
Members of Tzu Chi Teachers Association in Taiwan have recently been invited to travel to Malaysia to share their experiences in a teacher training seminar. During the course of 2 days, local volunteer teachers practice teaching and receive feedbacks from their Taiwanese counterparts.
In a two-day teacher training seminar, teachers from Taiwan share their experiences with 87 teachers who volunteer with the Tzu Chi Kuala Lumpur and Selangor chapter.
We encourage every teacher who goes up to the podium. In the 5-stage teaching, the most important thing is for children to apply the teachings in their life.
Every participant demonstrated how they teach for 20 minutes before being critiqued by the teachers from Taiwan.
I learned much from their feedback. I did not realize that I should let the students first calm down to think.
The teacher training seminar has two themes: teaching Jingsi aphorisms and sharing one's personal stories.
If you want the children to apply what they've learned, you have to apply the teachings in life first.
Learning to integrate Jingsi aphorisms into their curriculums, the teacher will be better prepared to share these words of wisdom with their students.
Dharma masters from Jingsi Boat and supervisors from Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital recently arrived at the Tzu Chi Dialysis Center in Penang, Malaysia, to celebrate the signing of an MOU that will strengthen the collaboration and exchange between the two organizations.
By planting a tree, Dharma masters from Hualien's Jingsi Abode are offering their blessings on behalf of the Tzu Chi Dialysis Center in Penang, Malaysia. Tzu Chi sings Life After Life on the Path of Enlightenment to welcome the masters and guests from Taiwan. The Dharma masters also convey their blessings to dialysis patients on behalf of Master Zhen Yan.
Life has its ups and downs. Though we may be here now, when we get better one day, we can be the ones to help others.
The dialysis center signed an MOU with the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital to strengthen the collaboration and exchange between the two institutes, forming a partnership that is sure to benefit many more dialysis patients in the future.
To educate the public on the correct way to observe the 7th lunar month, a trainee volunteer couple in Kaohsiung, Taiwan, transformed their auto repair shop into a temporary cultivation ground and held a tea gathering on behalf of friends and family. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.